We're going to start on step 5, the sleeve. Directions say to fold the sleeve, which is piece number 15, on the fold line, wrong sides together, matching circles, base, draw, edges together. So I'm going to fold wrong sides together. And then I'll iron it. And I'll hand baste it. I'm going to start on step 6, which says here we go, gather the cap sleeve between the small circles. I have my notch here where my small circle was, and I'll put it underneath the presser foot, lining the notch up with the circle, and the edge of the fabric is lined up with the edge of the presser foot. As I get close to the next notch, I use the hand wheel instead of the foot pedal so that I can end exactly at the notch. One thing that you want to do when you're sewing is when you're going to remove the fabric is move the needle to the highest position before lifting the presser foot, and then pull it back at a 45, and I like to use my little cutting tool on the side of my machine. I'm going to make a second row, just a little bit over. I'm going to put the fabric back in with the needle lined up with the notch, but this time instead of lining it up with the edge of the presser foot, I'm going to line it up with the first line on my plate. So I make 2 rows of gathering stitches so that it'll be easier to put the gathers in. It really gives you a lot more control. Now I've got my 2 rows in. I'm going to hold on to those tail ends and scrunch the fabric up, moving it towards the top of the sleeve. Go over to the other side and do the same thing over here. So I'm about to set the sleeve in. I wanted to mention that I pressed this shoulder seam open before I'm setting this in. So I've got the top of my sleeve here where my notch is. I'm going to line that up with the top of the shoulder seam and put a pin in it. I will keep on pinning. I wanted to mention that when I made this dress previously, I just eyeballed where to put in the sleeve because I've had experience putting in sleeves. But the pattern does give you some very good information on where to place the end, this edge of the sleeve, and that is where this big circle is. Let me get that in frame. Where these big circles are on the bodice front, you can mark in the seam allowance a circle right there, and pencil or pen even, and then on the bodice back it shows it by a rectangle, and just in your seam allowance, just right here, you line up when you need to remark something. You just take your pattern, you line it up with the edges of the seams that you've cut out, and you can add some additional marks. So that will help you help you know where to place the edges and pin them in there. So that one Goes right there. It gives me some additional play so I can use my gathers to scrunch it up some more and pin it down right there. Okay, good. And then on this side, I'll end it where that circle is. And do the same thing. Okay, we were just working on step 7, which says with right sides together, pin the sleeve into the armhole edge matching underarm seams, small circles, squares, lower large circles, and upper large circle to baste seam. Adjust, gathers, and baste. So I'm going to start basting now. So basting can mean a couple of different things. It can mean to baste with needles, like I've done. It can mean to hand baste, like I'm doing now, or it can mean to machine baste. And the directions don't always say what kind of basting they want to do. But from experience, I baste with pins when I'm inserting a sleeve, and then I hand baste. And this gives me the best results consistently.